Hey, welcome to another edition of Ashley's Garage Gym, and today, first and foremost, I'm going over Exponent Edge rack mounted GHD, but it does other things like that. If you aren't familiar with GHD means, it's glute ham developer. Those have been really big in the functional fitness and CrossFit world, but it's also now available to everyone else. And for me, in strength athletes, this is a great piece to do Nordic curls, which is going to help you prevent hamstring injury. So let me show you how to mount it, and then we'll get into the various exercises you can do. So it does just slide onto your rack. It just locks in, and then you have a pin. So I will show you. It is a little bulky, so I kind of wish it had some handles, but we work with what we have. So I'm just going to slide it in a hole and then twist it, and then I'm sticking a pin in the back to lock it in place. It does have 2 pinholes. It only came with 1 pin. They are adjusting that to come with 2 pins, so I'm sliding in another pin just to keep it nice and secure. So there you have it. So the first exercise, like I said, is the Nordic curl. Slide your bench under. Foot under the bottom roller, foot under the bottom roller. Come on up, right? So this is all gonna be your hamstrings, your glutes. You come on down and you squeeze to come up. So that is a great exercise you can do with this along with GHD, like GHD sit-ups. So I will show you can do a flat sit-up. Tuck your feet in. I'll show you how to do a decline as well. Another thing that I talked to Exponent Edge that I would recommend is having some kind of foot grip here, something gritty. You could put some kind of like almost like sandpaper gritty stuff, or do the diamond plating just so you have you don't slip with your feet. And I also, and maybe in future models, have this be adjustable. Because if I put my feet in here, I would love that extra comfort and security of being able to push this back so my feet are locked into place. So this is just kind of a basic sit up using this. You can use a bench, or if you're a floor person, you can do these exercises down from the floor. I don't have the space. I can't do it on the front because I have the bolts on my rack down at the bottom to hold the rack into place to do that for the support bar, but you could do it on the other side. I don't have the space. So that is the sit up, and then I will show you, I don't have a decline bench, but I'm gonna use a stability ball and show you the next exercise using that. So, decline sit up. Like I said, I'm using the stability ball, but if you have a decline bench, there you go. All your answers right here. All right, next exercise. The beloved sissy squat. Well, I was wrong. I thought I could do a sissy squat on this, but I cannot. I would need to set this apparatus up in this position, and it's not built for that in my mind. I thought I could do it like this, and there's just not enough room here for me to do it. And plus, if let's just say that did work in a perfect world, I can't get this low enough because of the bolts on my rack. So, can't do the sissy squat, but I can do hanging abs, which is very advanced, and I will show you those instead. So last but not least is the hanging abs, which I'm not going to recommend to everybody, right? You have to be pretty flexible to get in here. You could set up a bench or a box to get in on this, but then if you do this, make sure you have something that hangs down, and just in case you can't get back up, you have an emergency rope or something to get you up. So, and this is me trying, like this, I tested this out, and I was impressed because this held all of my weight at this leverage. So I mean, like this stuff, this is heavy duty. Slightly stuck. round 2. I had to lower it down 1 peg because that wasn't happening, clearly. Oh, yeah, that's so much easier. Oh, hold on. Let me just do this. There we go. All right, see? 1 peg was all we needed. So, this, right, is an advanced. You can do sit-ups here. And it's clearly holding me. But that's when you have the oh shit bar, right? If you can't get up, you just pull yourself up. And then, like I said, you can always have a bench here to help you get out. But since I'm me, seems my flexibility is so important. Okay. And plus, I know some of y'all are gonna do this because people do crazy things. And this reminds me of those gravity boots of like hanging upside down. So it can be done, just do it safely. So that is the rack mounted GHD. I give it 2 thumbs up, so does the train. Next, we're gonna do the Flex Wedge. Meet the Flex Wedge. So this is a prototype. It's the only one of its kind, and the models that are being produced after this are gonna be a little bit different. But since this is the one I have, I'm gonna speak on this one, and at the end, I'll tell you some of the changes that are gonna be coming to the Flex Wedge. So this is a 33-pound unit. It's got 2 handles on the side. 33 pounds for some is going to be lightweight and no issue. For others, 33 pounds is going to be a little bit heavier. For me, it's on the heavier side. It's got different holes. You can see the different pin holes, so you can adjust this platform. I'm going to go through that. So this platform is adjustable. So you have straight and then 5 different pinhole settings, so it goes down at a slant. The primary use of this is going to be standing calves. This is going to give you a way to do standing calf raises. It's got a non-slip surface, so we got that diamond plating on top, which I do like because if it was smooth, I would not trust my shoes, my rubber soles, from sliding, and you know that's going to be injury. So the diamond plating is great. This is rated for 1,000 pounds. That's just because the goal wasn't to be 1,000 pounds. It's just rated for 1,000 pounds, which I don't know anybody in the world that's going to do a 1,000-pound calf raise, but that's just a little side fact. You can also do rear lunges. You can do like tiny step-ups. You can do foot elevated split squats. You can do seated calf raises. So there are quite a few exercises you can do on this. So when we come to the keyholes, there's 2 pins on each side. And then, so that's it all the way down. And then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different settings. So initially, before I go through some exercises, I'm going to take you through some of my thoughts just looking at it. This, right, you're not going to pretty much do any exercise it with down at this angle because there's no way to really lock this in. Coming up to the first keyhole, that's a really, if I were to stand like this and put my toes down, that's called plantar flexion. That's a pretty intense angle for your ankles. It might be good, I wouldn't do calf raises on this, but you could put your foot forward, and I'll show you that, and stretch out your calves. That would be beneficial. I suggested to the owner that this platform come and be the same length as the lip that comes out here. Because as you guys know, when you're doing squats or doing lunges, you want to have your entire foot on the ground, right? You want to have your pinky toe side, you want your big toe mount and your heel all pressed down in contact with the ground. The size of this platform doesn't allow me to do that. But this is the prototype, and the updated model that they are going to start being in production is going to be different, so I can't speak on that. I can only speak on this one. So I would like that platform to be longer. Let's go through some of the exercises at the different slants. So the first position I'm going to show you is the lowest position, the 5th hole. I will say that I do know that the newer version is going to be about a ½ inch to an inch shorter here, and they did put in a 6th hole. So that in itself is going to be different, but again, we're speaking on this one. So I have it in the last hole. So if we're going to do maybe a calf stretch, right, you can put your foot on it, kind of lean into it to stretch your calf. You have the ability to kind of dip your heel down. Again, I like the longer platform, but it is what it is. If you're going to do a calf raise, I guess you could do it at this angle, right? Whatever's comfortable for you and your body. So you just kind of go up and down, or you could come further back. I mean, it is well built, so if I'm back here, it's not tipping. So that's a positive. Like it's going to be able to support weight. And then we're going to move to another higher position, and then I'll go all the way flat. Pull both pins. And And let's go to that third position, that middle position. So everybody is built a little different, so your ankle mobility, flexion and extension is going to be different. So I do like the fact that it has different pinholes so you can work whatever range of motion is for you in your body. So again, here's that one. It's going to be a little less, right? It's the slant isn't as aggressive, and you can stretch. You can do what you need to do. Yeah, that's that. So we're going to bring it all the way up to flat. And then after I finish showing you guys the calves, then I'll show you some like squat options. So this is it, you know, 90 degree or 180 degree, like perpendicular to the floor. You can drop your heels and then bring them all up. I mean, it feels good. My only suggestion here would be to have a little bit larger of a lip here and have it be round so that I have more surface area for my calf, which would, the larger surface area and changing the pivot point to be a little bit lower on my foot would give me a larger, a better stretch in my calf muscle versus my Achilles. Because here I feel it more in my Achilles. Change that pivot point, right? And then when you can have that better stretch, that means you have better lengthening, and then you can have a better shortening, which is, you know, the whole point of contraction and trying to build muscle in your calves, right? You want to work the whole range of motion of the muscle. So that is the calf raise there. And then from there, right, you can do your, you know, rear lunges, or, you know, you do your split squats. And this is sturdy, it feels great. And I'm repetitive here, but it just would have been nice to have a longer footboard to support my whole foot. I have size 12 feet. Like, that's going to be a standard for men, right? It's like size 10.5 in men. So if you have 10.5 or greater, you're going to have some foot hanging off. If you have a small foot female, this is going to be perfect for you. So there you go. Now I'm going to show you how to do the heel elevated squats and my feedback on that. It's at the lowest pivot point that this one goes. So if you want to do heel elevated squats, you can. That movement is good for people with limited ankle mobility. It's kind of like wearing Olympic shoes or ollie shoes that have a heel lift. You're going to get some of that same benefit. Again, right, you have your dumbbell or your barbell and you are squatting. When your knees track forward, it's going to be all quad movement. So this is going to help you isolate and work those quads better if you have weights. If you want your feet on the floor, that's again where a benefit of the extended platform. So I could have that platform all the way down and my foot be completely having something underneath it to support it, and then do something like this. Right, it's just another version of the heel elevated squat. Last but not least, you can do seated calf raise. For those of you who don't know, when you do standing calf raises, you're working the big muscle of the calf, which is called the gastrocnemius. When you're doing seated calf raise, you're working the one called the soleus. So you have to incorporate both seated and standing in order to fully work your calves and get them into cows. So for seated calf, maybe you have your dumbbells here, or you have a heavy dumbbell, and you're going to do the same thing, right? You're going to drop those heels nice and low and extend them up. This gives you that raised surface so that you can have a fuller range of motion to train seated calves. So the flex wedge, it's heavy duty, it's going to support you, it's got non-slip surface, and this is the prototype. They are going to come out, their progressions of this are only going to get better and better, and the models that are already going into manufacturing are already upgraded from this. So I was just reviewing this initial prototype to give some honest feedback. It's space saving, and it's going to allow you to do extra exercises in your home gym, and it doesn't take up much space. That wraps up Exponent Edge. Don't forget to please hit like and go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.